applause, ladies and gentlemen, just gives me chills multiplying. I tell you something, we got a great show today. It's a very special show, but I got to tell you something real quick before I go any further. A lot of people didn't know that my cousin was Cardinal Francisco Scola. Cardinal Francisco Scola, magnificent guy. He's in Italy, and he's supposed to be the Pope. And I was very disappointed because they didn't make him the Pope. And do you know the reason why? Because everybody would have called him Pope Scola. So stick around, stay loose as a goose. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to increase your business? Are you looking to take your business or organization to the next level? Well, look no further. The Michael Leonetti Variety Show has everything you need to become a great success. Contact us now to get all the information you need to take your business to the next level.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Leonetti Variety Show. What a magnificent show I got today. I got some great guests. I'm telling you something, but this is a show that's going to be a little bit different than a lot of that you have seen throughout this is my 40th show, believe it or not, here at the studio, which I'm really great. But let me get over to the sponsors. Before I do, don't forget to like, hit the button, subscribe. Let me say that again. Like, hit the button, subscribe. It's very important to build the channel, okay? That's very, very important. And also, let me tell you about I want to thank Mr. Kellogg. You know, Bob Kellogg. Bob, no words to thank you for this wonderful cup that you gave me. I thought you would have had a couple $100,000 stuffed in the cup, but I guess there's nothing in there unless my brother stole it. You know what I mean? Thank you for this wonderful cup. This is a classic. And I want to say to Alien Tequila, one of our major sponsors, which is Alien Tequila, and that's Mr. George Harris. Excellent tequila. Also, Mr. Bob Lacey from Manifest Academy. But that's a very, very serious place that's over there. He's got over 80,000 subscribers. And what's so wonderful about that, he does so much for the kids with the here in Las Vegas in the entertainment end of it, growing the minds and the spirit of the children in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, I want to say thank you to a very special friend of mine that is out there, and that's my lovely wife, Laura. She is absolutely marvelous. She's the backbone of me. I got up this morning, and she said, what are you going to do today? I said, I'm going to do something that has never been done before. You know, and I got to say something to you, ladies and gentlemen. If I stop this show today, what I have done will live on because it's quality. This television show is quality. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll put up $25,000 cash to my charity, which would be the children of Las Vegas, which is the children, you know, of how would I say it? That they're struggling. That's out here, and I tried to do something very special for people. That's why the people that I want to bring on today is going to be very, very powerful. I want to mention my book. And the book that you're going to see is called Deceit, Corruption, and Cover-Up. I always talk about the book, but I never got into the book. So today, I'm going to get into this book. And it's going to be a very serious thing. All the money, the book is $24.95, but all the money goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. As I mentioned earlier before, there's not a program in Las Vegas that can compare to what I'm doing right now. It's something that's clean, something that's above board, and something that's inspirational. And I always say, thanks to the grace of God, because I lost the kingdom, and I got it all back through the grace of God. So today's going to be a little bit different. We ain't got no singing, no dancing, no jokes, but something that everybody needs to review, because I have a special gentleman that's on today with me that I was in the trenches with. Some guys were in Vietnam, some guys were in Korea, and where me and this gentleman were at, we're very serious. I could talk about what I do, but it's not like hearing it from somebody else that was in the trenches with me fighting a war, because it was a very bad place. But I have a young lady with me that I feel is the most prettiest co-host. And I said, you know something? Everybody's got co-hosts. Well, guess what? She's not only with my organization, but I said, I want to have her on today with me because she does something very special with the prison institution and people that are out there. And she's perfect for this segment. And that's the beautiful Miss Melissa Spence. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Good. Hi.
You look so pretty today. Oh, my God, in heaven, you look very lovely. And I know you're getting married. I wish you lots of luck. And I have a toaster that I'm going to buy for the wedding because my day when we got married, we gave toasters. They were like $2.50. I remember those days. And next to Melissa Spence is a very special friend of mine. That's Mr. Tom Elgas.
You got that right, sir.
Thank you, Tommy. Tommy was in. You look like you're under the witness protection program, Tom, with them shades, but that's okay. There's no problem. I know that you're legit today. And we're going to get back with Tom, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And I also want to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that March 1st, I am so excited. I'm doing the concert for the church, the St. George Cathedral Orthodox Church. Romanian church. And I'm doing all the cooking. I'm coming out of retirement for this. The tickets are $100 per person. You know what I mean? And but it includes all you can eat, all you can drink, and all the stuff that you have. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to pick up a phone, make a reservation, because this is something you will never, ever, ever forget for the rest of your life, because I got the best of the best when it comes to opera. So I want to swing over to Melissa, because I'm looking at the clock over here, because we got different commercial segments. Melissa, what do? You do something with the prisoners here in Las Vegas, don't you?
Yes. I am part of the St. Joan of Arc Church Ministry. I'm going to be actually announced as the head of the ministry in a month, which is very nice. What we do as a group, we go into the prisons and we speak with whoever would like to come out of their cells and teach them about Christ and let them know what they're missing or what they just never understood, to be a reality. So it's really nice, and it's awakening to watch people who, didn't really know much about anything about Christ, and then to have this epiphany right in front of you that they just start to understand. And the more you go, and sometimes I will have the same people in the room, sometimes, you never see another person again, but you can tell something is hit. And it's
now, do you go? Is it for men and women, or just the women's prison, or how's it? I mean, the jails, because you go down to the. Is it CCDC?
Yep, I go.
Yeah, right.
I'm downtown, and I'm also at North Valley, and so I do see both the men and the women. It just depends on where I kind of schedule things out where it's scheduled.
And it's a Bible study. Am I correct by saying that?
Yeah, we do Bible study. We explain, what Mass is and what it's about, and I pretty much go over the 10 Commandments, because a lot of times I've noticed, there were some things that they wanted to teach these people, but I watched their head and it was kind of rolling over what the meaning of what we were doing. So I realized we needed to take things back a step and start from the basics, and I think that really encourages them so much more. Because instead of starting off, talking about confessing sins, it's like, well, what is a sin? What's an immortal sin? What's a venial sin? And you'll be surprised how happy they were to understand what these things were and understand the 10 Commandments. And do
you feel as though you're getting through to these people?
Oh yeah. I definitely feel that I am. The ladies are great, and they ask different questions than men do. Men, they don't ask as many questions, but they're playing in their head trying to figure out what's the scam she's trying to tell us, and then realize it's not a scam. But women are more upfront and ask questions.
Well, today's going to be a little bit different for you, because I'm going to take you to a place where me and Tom were at, a place of the deepest part of hell you could ever possibly imagine, and you had nowhere to go. Okay? And we're talking hardened criminals here, guys that felt as though that the Lord gave up on them, their family gave up on them, people gave up on them, they gave up on themselves, and I did something, and the reason why that I wanted Tom, and it took me a little convincing to get him here, because he's a very dear friend of mine, and we go back a very, very long time when I had a car dealership, and he used to wash cars for me. And many years later, I'm walking down in a prison cell, and I hear, "Hey, Mike!" And I turn around, and it's Tommy. And I'll let him speak, when we come back with the segment, because I'm going to tell you something. People today, when there's a problem, they give up on God. or they blame God for their misfortune. Okay? But on first hand, okay, and I'm hopefully that this show today and the people that watch this show, because I had some very powerful people on this show, from governors to judges. In fact, next week I have the Honorable Judge Robert, that's going to Friedman, that's a Supreme Court Justice, going to be on my television show, and we connected great. They all got my books. They all know my background, and they're amazed. Just like Mr. Kellogg, nobody sold more books for me than Mr. Kellogg's. But before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to get your coffee. I want you to get ready, because when we come back, we're going to get into something very deep, something very powerful. And I'm going to show you the power of the Lord. I'm going to show you how God can take a man that was a shot caller, to take a man that seen nothing but whatever and have his life turn around. So I want you to relax, sit back, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody, you got your coffee? Are you ready? Well, next to me right now is Mr. Tom Elgas. Tom, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having
today,
me.
buddy. We go back a long time, me and you, buddy.
22 years.
22 years. When you worked for me, when you came back, and I had Michael's auto, and you used to wash the cars. He would come in. What'd you charge me? $2 a car? Was it about?
It was funny because I would charge you like $25 a car, and you would tell me, I don't want to pay that much. Just go out and spray them down. I'm like, Mike, I can't just spray them. I can't. I got to go out there and do the tires. I got to make it look nice. So Mike conceded. He paid me the $25, and he got a car that lasted for 2 weeks.
That's right. You're the best. Tom, before we get into the war that we were at and the inspiration that you're going to tell my viewers, your father did something here, didn't he?
Yeah, him and Sig Rogich.
Sig Rogich?
They brought the first free-flowing movement sign to Nevada, to Las Vegas. It was similar to what was downtown, or down in New York, and it showed a free-flowing movement. It actually would show a video, a good video. And Steve Wynn came to us when we first got here, wanted to get it for his hotel. He wanted to buy the company. My dad told him no, so he sold him first rights, then he sold to Treasure Island, and then like overnight, everybody had these signs, the same signs that you see. They're a little better now, but the principle was still the same. So, and he did a book back in 1976 called the Nevada Bicentennial Book, and it celebrated 100 years of Nevada. Him and a Nevada historian, Stanley Payer. So,
tell me, where did you feel that you went wrong?
You know, after my dad died, it was really powerful. And I don't want to say I was too stupid, but I didn't recognize, I was holding my dad while he was dying. And I don't know what caused me to do it, but I just asked him, I said, Dad, I said, you're dying right now. You're out of here. And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, you're a sinner. Do you ask God for forgiveness? And he's like, yeah. And I told him, I said, well, then, I love you, and I'll see you when I get there. It's funny because we had a deal where if there was life on the other side, he would throw dice at us, because my dad, you can look him up on the internet. This story's in the internet too. Anyway, we had a deal that if there was life on the other side, that he would throw dice at us. So Helen and I, my wife, we went down. He died in the house, so we went and stayed in a hotel. I went over to Binion's, and I go to place the bet down, and the dice almost hit my hand, and I'm thinking, no, that's not what it was. So the crap dealer calls the bet dead, gives the guy the dice again. This time the guy rolls the dice. This is what's in the story, but the dice stopped right in front of me. And I don't know if you know anything about craps, but until the stick man gets the dice under control, they don't pay any bets. So the stick man goes to grab the dice. He barely grabs them. Both the dice are still in front of me. They jump up. They whiz right past me. I lose it. I start crying. I'm like, oh my God, Anyway, I ended up taking everybody's name, gave it to the reporter because they wrote a story about it. They were following him for probably about 7 or 8 months. A guy by the name of Ed Cook was doing the story for the Las Vegas Sun, and they were just following his stuff. So that got me. But as he was dying, best thing I could do is just imagine turning a blow dryer on you and feeling that warmth as his life went out. I felt that, and I never understood it at first, but then I realized that was God telling me, okay, you see this. I need you to do, I got something for you. I'll get right back to you. I got something else to do. And that started me. Drugs, girls, staying out late, cheating on my wife, stealing, beating up people, sometimes shooting them, stabbing them. It was not good. So.
But you're okay today. Outside of your health. I know that you were talking about outside of your health. Because like I said, that's why I had you on the show today. Because a lot of people, like I said, I talk about the book. And when they read the book, when they say to me, oh my God, Mike, it's amazing. But people didn't realize what we went through in there. And we talked a little bit about what happened. Because you were in the 60 plays that I wrote and directed in the prison institution. And tell me as well as I, anytime you got a janky case, and that's a sex charge case, I don't care who is it with, they come in, they say, what are you in here for? Let me see your paperwork. You don't show it to them. You're stabbed, you're killed, you're raped, you're beat up on the spot. Extorted. And through all the years that I was in, no one has ever put their finger on me because God showed them, wait a minute, this guy was done wrong. Because in the Bible, Joseph, with the brothers, he was thrown in a pit, and Potiphar, it's in the Bible, took him, and he was the head of a prison. And he made this kid, stay with him. He was a handsome, good-looking guy like me. Very handsome. No, I'm only teasing you. He was a very handsome guy, and the wife wanted him. And she went after him. It's in the Bible, and I did the play on it. And she grabbed his coat, and he pushed away and he said, "No, I cannot do that to Potiphar. He's good to me." And she wanted to have a relationship with him. Well, when the husband came home, she says to her husband, "He tried to rape me." Now, them days they put you in prison or they killed you. So he said, "Look, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to give you 12 years." They put Joseph in prison for 12 years for rape. And the minute he got into prison, they said, what's this guy in here for? He says he's innocent, but they all say that. You know that, Tommy, as well as I do. I'm looking at the clock because we got another segment, and I'm just trying to line up because I want to give you the spotlight to show what we did, what those men did in the prison institution with these plays, and to write and direct all them plays. And the guys that I had, these were hardcore criminals. These were murderers, and these were thieves, and you name it, I had. And I said, wait a minute, I got a part, you're going to be great. And no one in the history of a prison institution ever did what I did in that place. Because I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I was not a playwriter. That was not my thing. I was a Las Vegas entertainer. I didn't even know where to start. But if I did not lose everything I had, I could have never wrote those plays because God wanted me to walk the walk of Job, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the prodigal son, in the Bible. Now, everybody knows I joke with my brother. My brother's a very spiritual man. Very, very spiritual, and he does a service, and he's with Pastor Russell, who's a magnificent preacher. What's the name of the
Valley Vegas Church?
Valley Vegas Church. And I'm telling you something, he has over thousands of members that are there. And I was asked, and I talked with him, if I can do one of my plays again. And I said that would be great, and that would be a great honor for me after all the years to go in there and show the people what I did while I was in there. Because there was a preacher once that said to me, he said, Mike, I can preach for hours. He said, what you do in 5 to 10 minutes, you reach these people. And when I come back from this next segment, I'm going to let Tom tell you what we did, how those guys were, how they looked upon a guy like me going into a place like that, and how the power of God could be so strong, okay, when you do his work. Because I'm going to tell you something, folks. I never wanted to write the plays. I wanted to hang myself from the nearest tree to get 20 years for something I never done. Now, you see a different side. I'm on top of the world at a successful restaurant, Kellogg's Cornflakes, major sponsors. And I say this all the time. If you think that if I was a janky guy, they would never sponsor me. There's no way in the world these guys would ever stand behind me. But the power of God is so strong, okay, to give me back what Satan has taken, because it says, what the locusts have taken, I will give you back. Now, I am not a preacher. You know what I mean? I am not one of them holy roller. It's just not me. But I got to tell you something. God used me in a very unbelievable way to reach the people. And then to meet Melissa, who does so many wonderful things for the prison institution. You may think that maybe does it take it? Now, remember, these guys are not in prison. The guys are in the county jail. Some of them are going there. Some of them are not. We were there. We were in the trenches. So it's important that when we come back from this next segment, I'm going to let Tom tell you his end of it, how those guys fought, how they felt. You understand? Because I did a lot of wonderful things. I was cooked for Sinatra. But the greatest thing that I've ever done in my life was those plays. Because the audiences I got today are easy. They're drinking, they're eating, they're having a great, Mike, we love you, you're singing and you're cooking. But go to a prison institution and get those guys in that chapel. And there were hundreds of guys waiting to get in. Crips, Bloods, Sereno, Paisa, Border Brothers, AW, Nevada Tres, the toughest gangs in the world. And walk out of that church looking at me and say, my God, Mike, you touched my heart. That is an achievement. That is a standing ovation. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you move. We'll be right back.
This is Anthony from WeLink Internet, home of the super fast fiber optic speeds. Are you paying too much for your internet? Is your service slow? Is your bill outrageous and keep going up? Well, look no further. WeLink Internet has you covered. Not only do we have super fast speeds, unbelievable customer service, but our price is usually a lot lower than anyone else. Give me a call to see if your home is available, and I will give you 30 days free to try out our service with free installation, and all the equipment will be included with no rental fees. Give me a call now to get you set up with WeLink Internet.
In Las Vegas, countless young lives are brimming with potential, waiting for the right opportunity to shine. At Manifest Academy, we believe every child deserves a chance to succeed, not just academically, but emotionally. Through the transformative power of music, we provide mentorship that fosters mental wellness, creativity, and confidence. Our mission is simple: to empower the next generation with the tools that they need to dream big and achieve even bigger. Your support makes this possible. By donating, you give Las Vegas youth access to life-changing opportunities and a brighter future. Visit ManifestAcademyLV.org to sponsor hope, growth, and endless possibilities. Together, we can make transformative lives one note at a time.
Interesting, eh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a very special friend of mine, a man that was in the trenches with me, fought with these other guys, went out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Elgas. Tom, thank you.
Got it right again.
Tommy, get right to the nitty gritty, man.
I just want to say a couple things. One, you said that people usually blame God. That's our first thing, and that was your thing too. When you came, boy, you were going to sue this person, you were going to sue that person. You were angry. You were, and I think after we get to that point, then we get to where we realize, hey, you know what? This is beyond my control. I can't do it, and we give it to God, and God handles it. And that's where you got to, and you got there quick. The plays. Holy cow, what can I say? I mean, we had, you don't see Bloods and Crips mixing together. You don't see Mexicans and Black. It does not happen in prison. You got your group, they got their group, and that's how it stays. But Mike started, God, I guess you've been there for about a year.
Well, I went to Lovelock. I went up there, and I started him there, and then I was with Maurice Singer. I don't know if you remember Maurice Singer, who saved my life. He was a lawyer. He was in for murder. Maury was in, and he did my case. I didn't know a habeas from a corpus, and my name for years was Crying Mike because I cried.
I remember.
You remember?
I remember when you
cried
came down to Union Springs, everybody was like on you like bum on a bologna sandwich. I mean, they really wanted. But the thing is that, so for whatever reason, you were led to do these plays, and it was funny because, the time frame. As soon as we wrapped one, next day we were right on doing another one. And I don't know how many plays you did. I'd
60.
say, yeah, I figured you did like 50 or 60. You only invited me for one, thanks.
You're a lousy actor, Tom.
What would you play?
I was a guard. We were on the road to Gethsemane. Oh no!
Gethsemane.
I can't even say that word.
Gethsemane.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you remember that play? It was 18 guys.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of guys in there.
I got to say something I don't remember because it wasn't that long. I think it was like 3 words, and my role was like, all right, hit stage left. So I was out of there. Mike said, good job. But the thing is that these men, there was a list of men that wanted to get on these plays. And I'm not talking about, little, crimes for theft. I mean, some of these guys were killers, been in the prison 15, 20 years. I mean, so Mike had a list, and it was hard for him to, if he found a good guy, he'd like to keep him, but he always tried to keep the plays fresh and the ideas fresh. And so that's what he did. And, for him to do that, it comes to the point where you just got to give it to God. You just got to say, hey, you know what, this is too much for me. And I say that to say this. It was like this lady, for years, she kept praying, please, Lord, let me win the lottery. Please let me win the lottery. I promise I'll give 10,000 over here. I'll give 20,000 over here. And she did this for years. Anyway, one day she's praying, Lord, please let me win the lottery. I promise I'll give 100,000 over here, 200,000 over here. All of a sudden, the house started to shake, and a voice from the heavens came down and said, lady, you got to buy a ticket. So you got to do your part.
Right.
And doing your part means surrendering. And it means you got to have a relationship with him. My relationship is different from yours and his. Me and him talk about different things than yours. But you got to have a relationship. You can't just go.
And how was the look at them guys, Tom? What was on the yard? Those guys, they were so inspired, and because walking up on the yard with a Bible.
Listen, I still shake thinking about it. Just even now, just thinking about those people. They were vicious. They were mean. They were vindictive. They were calculating. They were predatory. Anything bad you could say about a person, that's what they were. And they looked for weaker people. And with your crime, you were at the bottom of the pole, but you never ran into a problem.
Never,
ever.
Well, neither did Joseph. When Joseph was in, because like I said, any kind of, because today, let me tell you what people do, Tommy. They pull you up. Your whole life is up front. Because prior to my book coming out, people were opinion, and I'm going to say something. Just yesterday, I was at a club, and there was a good friend of mine named Louis Cordone. I want to mention his name because he watches my show. Finest comedian in the world. Came to my house a million times when I was my other wife, when I was married. Gave him a plaque at my birthday. You name it. To make a long story short, yesterday, he says, Mike, I want to apologize to you. And he says, and I says, for what? He says, I judged you, Mike, when you came out. That's why, he said, but I was wrong, man. I says, you don't owe me apology. You and a million other people judge me. I said, but who brought me back on top was the Lord, because the Lord made the people see that this guy was innocent of what he was accused of, and look what he done. That's why the Lord gave me everything back. We have another segment, don't we, Ann? This is the last segment? Well, and that's the reason why, because we're doing something a little new for this particular thing. We're doing the commercials, because we usually run the commercials. So I got like 1 minute and 37 seconds. Tom, there's no way to thank you for coming on. I hope that what you said and the people that see this show that are out there that are depressed and they're down and out and they feel as though there's hope. If you got belief in God, you got hope. Melissa, what you're doing is magnificent. I want you to continue to do, because there's people that are out there. Maybe you're not going to write no plays, and maybe you're not going to write 60 plays and have every hardened criminal come out there. But as long as you preach the word of God, that's what's important. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Next week, I got a magnificent guest, the Supreme Court Justice Robert Freeman. Bobby's going to be with me, and I'm inviting Melissa back. And I say this all the time. And you remember Johnny, little Johnny Cupcakes? Remember Johnny? Candy Cupcakes, he said to me, Mike, if your heart's not right, you can't receive anything. And I would say to John, what do you mean by that? Ladies and gentlemen, your heart has to be right to receive forgiveness, love, and understanding. Listen to me when I'm telling you. You know, when I talked to Tom said, what do you want me on the show for, Mike? I said, because I want you to tell the people how God could work in a man's life that was on top, on bottom, health against him, you know what I mean, and what you done. And I want to publicly thank you, Tommy, and every other Crip member from you name it that did the plays, that blessed these guys, because what we did's instilled. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, my show, I feel in my heart, is the #1 show in Las Vegas, Nevada, because I'm not going to use profanity on a show. I don't need to go to there. It's clean. It's easy. And I thank all my sponsors for backing me. So sit tight. I can't wait to see you next week. It can't come around. This will come to you tomorrow morning. Don't forget. Thanks, everybody. And God bless every one of you.